Generation 2 Plasticon review! Woo! In the world of Generation 2, Rampage is up to no good. Predaking comes down for the kill. Nosecone's checking the radar. He decides to contact the rest of the Technobots as Lightspeed catches a glimpse of what is actually going on. As Computron and Predaking battle it out, the fate of Cybertron is in your hands. Generation 2 Transformers brought to you by Hasbro. Some assembly required, figures sold separately. Welcome back to yet another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover Generation 2 Predaking. So yeah, let's start out with Headstrong. Headstrong doesn't really look much different than his G1 self here, really. He mainly just has different kind of stickering where, it looks more cartoony. Along with this big gigantic white plate here on the back with large cannons, because he's got cannons and they go pew pew, because pew pew. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He's actually really neat. These are like a plastic version, they're not metal, so they're pretty neat. A lot of people out there prefer the plastic version over the metal version of these guys, and this is the G2 version, and he's really cool. He's got a nice big G2 emblem right there. These sharp horns. Yes, he can like canter his head if he wants to, because he's a rhino. What do you expect? Got this little horn, moves back and forth. Kind of mad. He can move a little bit, but you don't really want to wiggle it much. Doesn't really have any articulation. He can do that, but he just kind of has like a foot here or something like that. You can move forward. Doesn't really have a tail or anything, so he's just kind of a brick, and he's a really cheerful one. But what this brick does? It transforms. So let's get into that real quick. Here's Headstrong in his robot mode, and he's obviously a big, gigantic. He's got a bit of articulation. He's doesn't have very much articulation at all. Even the head doesn't move, but obviously awesome head sculpt. He can also wield his sword, and every one of them come with these awesome swords, along with his gun, which he happens to have 2 of them, but you can't really hold a gun and a sword at the same time, but there you go. Really, really, really cool detail there on that sword, and not bad detail on the gun as well. Very, very, very cool robot. Does try to squat a little bit, but you know, he isn't perfect. Anyhow, let's move on to the next member. The next member of the lot is Rampage. Here's Rampage. He is I've always thought of him as like the puma or the cougar of the group. I don't really think of him as a tiger because he's never really had like a tiger look to him. I don't know, his face seems to be meaner than that. Does have a place here where you can put his little gun, just slot in there and slot in there, so that way you can just kind of hold his little guns there. Taking a good close look at him. He's pretty neat. He actually has an articulated jaw. His jaw can move back and forth, and his head can canter if you want it to, because you know, that's what cats do, right? They look at the bottom and, you know, turn the head sideways and just look silly. But yeah, there we go. Does have a bit more movement than Headstrong does. He does have a clicky joint here, and then these move back. And then he's obviously got this split joint, and he does have some movement there in his feet as well. Waggle his tail if you want. It's really cool. These things always reminded me of Zoids. I think that's why I like them. Very, very awesome color scheme here with like this screaming orange and white. It just screams G2. He's got some really, really cool stickering here going on. I like how this guy looks. Looks really, really neat with the red eyes and everything. Very cool. Very menacing. Because, you know, Rampage, yeah, it's just what he does. What do you expect? He goes on a rampage. Anyway, bot mode. Rampage in his bot mode. Obviously you can see a lot more white here. It tends to really kind of bring out the other colors, especially when you fold his legs down. I do like this color silhouette. It makes him look like he's wearing almost like a powered kind of suit or something here because of all like the breakup of all the paint. And it's just, I really like the way the Decepticon emblems and stuff are right here on his chest. It kind of really shows who he is. The thing I love about him is this engineering where he just takes his legs and he folds them up back here and then they become like shoulder pads. It's really kind of neat. He got his derpy looking face there, which I love. It's so funny looking. And I like the stickering. The stickering is really, really neat throughout it. These stickers here you saw in cat mode. Those work out pretty decent. And then he has little stickers here that kind of pop here on his feet. He can also hold his sword along with a gun. Woohoo! Guns. And there you go. There's Rampage all armed up and ready to go kick some Autobot butt. Let's move on to the next, shall we? Moving on with the Generation 2 Predacons comes Tantrum, because you know he throws a fit. Anyway, it's obviously a big buffalo. Kind of doofy looking. I love it. I love this color. This color is just awesome. He's like this big white buffalo with like these blue parts here, which can probably be like, I don't know, like he's carrying like power packs on him or something. He's got these big old red feet. And they just move like this. That way, you know, it looks like he's like trying to charge. And yeah, I love this guy. Although his back peak don't move at all, his head does turn, so you know it kind of gives you a little bit of articulation there, which I like that. I like that about, you know, some of these robots. But I mean, it's kind of funny because you can like make it look like he's walking or he's about to charge someone or something. Because you know, it's bad enough that he's got these humongous cannons on his back. I mean, this is awesome. I love cannons on the back of a gigantic tank of like, I don't know. I mean, between him and Headstrong, I mean, these two could pretty much probably take out any Autobot you wanted to. And I mean, it's already overkill as it is with these two, but you know, you can throw Rampage in there, and I don't know, just really, really cool. It's got very, very nice detail. I do like the yellow eyes here that are picked out, and the Decepticon emblem right there on top of his head. It's really, really cool. I do like him a lot. He is probably one of my favorite of the lot, mainly because, you know, he's just a big beast. I love this techie detailed sticker they got going on here. It's really cool. The cartoony stickers really kind of add a lot to this guy. Anyhow, let's move on to his robot mode. Tantrum in his robot mode. He looks really, really neat. I do love the colors. The colors are really cool. It makes him look like he's wearing kind of like a vest or something crazy going on here with like some crazy armor. Little bitty red feet just kind of picked out here at the bottom, and then, you know, his big old crazy noggin here with the horns sticking out and everything. I just love that. It's just really cool. He does have some crazy articulation here, and you know, articulation's not too bad on the arms for one of these guys. I do like that a lot. On the back, he's got his legs just kind of hanging off here on the back, but to be honest, it's nice and flush, and that doesn't really take too much away from the robot mode, honestly. He can obviously hold his sword, and then he can also hold his gun, because, you know, he's got to have a sword and gun too, because all of them do. Because these guys need that kind of thing. But he's actually a really, really cool bot. I don't mind him. He's kind of cool. Just, you know, I don't know. I think the robot mode is probably not the best out of all of them, but I do like this. This is actually really, really neat. And quite a bit of articulation, especially for the time. Not to mention, you know, the head swivel and all. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Whoop. So let's go and take it to the air with good old Divebomb here. His colors really haven't changed much, especially from the G1. He's got some slight alterations, but not a lot. A lot of different color going on here in the wings, though, with the stickers. It really makes it pop. It's very cartoony. I do like his head sculpt, the little red eyes. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they were yellow on the G1. I can't remember that for a fact. Does have his nice little G2 sticker right there on the chest, and you know, he's got his little feather tail going on here, which got a little bit of techie detail here on the back. Very, very nice detail throughout the back, and he does have some pretty good wing articulation. I mean, you can really spread this guy out. I mean, it's kind of hard even to get him completely in frame because he's that freaking wide. It's really neat. I do like the idea that you can take his guns and actually put them on his wings. Which obviously you guys know that's for the combined mode. And yeah, with the clicky joints here, he's very, very loud. And it's almost kind of ear-piercing how loud those joints are. But it's good that they're that tough because, you know, you don't want this guy to fall apart or anything like that, especially if he's flying around here. He's got some nice little talons going on here that kind of move back and forth, and you can stick him back like that, so it looks like, you know, he's flying in the air, and then when he's sitting here, he just looks like he's perched, which tends to work pretty well, especially if you fold these wings in real nice and tight. The wings don't fold backward or anything, but, you know, they never did on the G1 either. But anyhow, let's move on to his robot mode. Divebomb in his robot mode. He looks like a winged man, which, who'd have thunk? Very, very cool. I love this guy's head. This guy's head is so freaking cool because, you know, it's like this bird beak helmet thing over a face. I love something about this. Just shows me like he's got this cool helmet he wears. He's got some really, really cool articulation. You know, he's not too bad. He's very clicky. He actually does have a bit of a voice to him as well. That's something I forgot to show on Rampage. He actually has one as well. But these do still fold all the way out. No hindrance there from the wings. Now the only problem I really have with him, and this actually was a problem with like all the G1s and stuff like that, is getting him to stand. So sometimes you gotta make him stand a little hunched over toward the front. Not a ton, but I mean you can make it look pretty good. It's mainly because of this backpack. Now if you did take his wings off, because his wings do come off for an obvious reason, but you can make him kind of stand up better that way if you did take his wings off. But he does make him feel very naked, I should say. Really nice detail going on here with some of the stickering. And, you know, he's actually not too bad. I do like the way he is designed. He's probably one of the coolest articulated wise of the group. I just like the way he is. He also can put this big old backpack back on here. Get to stay on there for a second. Yeah, he's really, really neat. He also can hold his weapons just like the other ones do. The sword, and then a gun. You know, maybe Divebomb without all that, right? But, you know, he does have a lot of articulation in these legs. That's just one thing about it. And it's mainly just because he's back heavy. It's the only reason why you really gotta kind of hunch him like that. But I mean, he actually looks kind of cool. He almost looks dynamic when he's like this. So, it works. Anyhow, let's move on to the fifth and last member of the group. Moving on to Razorclaw, which is the leader of the group. He's obviously a lion. I mean, what other cat has a big mane like this? Looks like it's on fire. That's what I love about this stickering. It's insane. I mean, and the colors on him, it seems like these are brighter than the G1. Like the yellow is much more vibrant, and same with the red. But he's got this really odd color of tan. Works really well. Do love the idea. He has a gigantic cannon he put on his back, you know, for his pew-pewing. Because, you know, this is very Zoids. I mean, Zoids had guns on the back and like guns all over the place, and I've always thought these were guns as well. But, you know, he does have his head that moves back and forth. He does have an articulated jaw as well, which is kind of nice. So that way, you know, you can put this in any position. And then he does have a tail back here that he can waggle. Because, you know, cats have tails too, you know. He's not really a bobcat. Very, very cool. Do like him. I love these colors. I mean, this head sculpt is just so cool. I love this. This is just awesome. I can never get enough of this head sculpt. It's so freaking awesome. But he's really neat. Very nice detail here in the legs. I mean, look at this. Just, Razorclaw. He looks like the leader of the group because he is the leader of the group. Anyhow, let's move on to his robot mode. Here is Razorclaw in his robot mode, and he's obviously has a pretty cool stance. The one thing a lot of people really tend to bellyache about is how short his arms are. And, you know, I can understand that, but I can also understand the reasoning behind the shortness of the arms. It works for a specific purpose. But do love the head sculpt. The head sculpt is awesome. Big old visor of doom going on there with a big lion on his chest. He just looks like a guy you don't want to mess with. But he can take his gigantic cannon here and shove it on this arm, just like so, and then give him a big sword. And then, you know, he doesn't seem so stumpy now. But he's really a very, very, very cool guy. I love this. This is cool because, you know, the Predacons really needed a nice dynamic leader, and to me, this guy does it. I love the idea that Decepticon emblem's right here, right on his little feet. And he does have a Decepticon emblem right under here as well. Although you can live this kind of in any position you want, really. But it shows up more on his cat mode. He unfortunately has this plate here on his back for an obvious reason. But very, very neat. He's actually kind of clean. That's what I like about him. Very awesome thing. So, yeah. You guys know what he's going to do. He's going to turn into a big guy, so let's do that. here's Generation 2 Predaking in his robot mode. Combination, he is freaking massive. This thing is just gloriously awesome. The colors are just spot on, just insane, with like the white feet, white hands, the big gigantic white helmet. He just looks really, really menacing. He obviously has his little sword that he's always had, along with his gun. Now his gun has a little different type of thing going on here. It doesn't just plug in like this, you know. Yeah, open it up and then you gotta go this way with it. And then you just grab this barrel and just yank it out, because, you know, it makes a gigantic laser rifle, which is really neat. And then you'll just plug this over here onto this other arm over here where Divebomb was. That's why that big old hole was right there on his tail fin. And then to finish off the ensemble, you're obviously going to want to put these guns here and Divebomb's wings in the back. There you go. You got Predaking in his gigantic awesome mode. Now, to give you guys a bit of a size comparison of how big he really is, here is G2 Prime next to him, and good old Generation 2 Computron. As you can tell, he is massive. He is the biggest combiner that has ever been made when it comes to this style. He might be a big brick, but he's still really, really cool. He does have a lot of articulation from the wrists. He can actually move his forearm back and forth. A lot of clicking there. Wrists do move. Along with, he doesn't really have a head swivel, which is something I kind of wish they would have incorporated into him, but as massive as he is, he's kind of hard to do that. You really can't get him into any real walking poses, although but you can probably futz one or two if you really wanted to. But he's a very, very, very cool addition to your Generation 2. I do love him. He is awesome. He is well worth a dime if you can run across him. And, you know, he is cool. Anyhow, this has been Plasticon. This has been yet another awesome freaking Generation 2 review thingy, because, you know, we got tons of these. Tons of G2. Look at this. Look at it. Can't tell me that isn't G2. Anyhow, I'll see you guys around. This has been Plasticon. This is me. Sign off. Peace out, you guys. Whoop.